Hello, dear viewer. Thank you very much for joining me yet again on Guest of the Week. I am Obi Chukwemeka Oti. It is that program that features personalities who have impacted or are still impacting our society positively within the shores of Ondo State and, of course, beyond even the shores of Nigeria. Today on the show, my guest is a director at the accountant cadre of the Ondo State Civil Service, Mrs Jocelyn Omobola Oladipo. Thank you very much for being my guest this week.
Thank you, ma'am.
And not to forget, I forgot to put that PhD there. Yes, because it is a feat that she has attained, a unique one, and we are talking about that today on the show. But let's start from getting to know who you are. How was it for you growing up as a child? Where were you born?
Thank you, madam. Once again, my name is Jocelyn Omobola Oladipo. I was born in that ancient town of Owo, in the local government of Ondo State, in the over 50 years, 50-some years ago. And from a very humble background, I attended AUD School 2, Ijebu, for my primary education. And from there, I proceeded to St. Louis Girls Grammar School for my secondary education. And from there, later I went to the Polytechnic for my national diploma in accounting. And from there to Federal Polytechnic, Ado Ekiti for my higher national diploma in accounting. From there to Adekunle Ajayi University, Akungba Akoko for my postgraduate diploma in financial management. I attended Achievers University for my Bachelor's of Science degree in accounting. From there, I went to Joseph Ayo Babalola University for my master's in accounting. And it was during the master's program, my supervisor then discovered the uniqueness of a talent in me and compelled me that I must pursue my PhD. So that I should plan for my post-retirement, because I was seeing a mentor, a mother, a teacher, an academician, and discovered it. And
all wrapped in one part.
Yes, because that time I was assisting him to carry out some program, and in the process he saw the student, they love it, even though as a student, teacher, and they told him, and he said, yes, I've seen that uniqueness in her, and he encouraged me. If I need to tell you that he was the one that obtained the PhD form and even paid for the acceptance for fee, and
just to encourage you.
Just to encourage me, and even gave a word that I must, even if he died before the completion of the program, I must not give up. And I promised him. And that statement, even when there were challenges and both financial and a lot of things on the way, I said, no, I must not disappoint this man.
And who has put in so much trust in you.
I completed the PhD program.
All right, before we go on, let's just talk about you growing up as a child and getting up until this moment. What values would you say were inculcated in you to make you the person you are today?
I just want to appreciate God for the way He has created me. My growing up was full of challenges anyway, because I was just a toddler when my father died. And so growing up with my uncle, now late in Lagos, then later back to Owo with my mother, I saw a mother, like my mother, hardworking mother, a mother that is determined to bring out the best from her children. And like he used to tell us, he said, don't give up on the path of success. That's my mother's usual words of encouragement to her children. And I saw that greatness is not a thing of mouth. You have to put into it. I discovered that from that my uncle, late Horatius Omotosho Adetula, that brought me up. And I saw it in him, the way he worked and the way he encouraged us. Ditto my mother. And that also, I said, the death of my father will not debar me from becoming what God has determined me to be in life. And I told myself, I said, Bola, even from cradle, like my friends said when they heard that I backed PhD, and also, as a chartered accountant, and I can't remember, they said we were not surprised that even from cradle, that even children when we were joking and they said, what do you want to become in life? And I would tell them, I said, I will read I will read and I will read, even when I didn't see any hope coming from such. But that will always be my confession. And I said, okay, let me now bring to reality that which I've been confessing.
So
and God supported
hard work, values of hard work, and the never give up spirit. Prayer. You were determined.
Yes. Then virtues from God. I'm a product of mercy and favor, because even if you hard work and you have determination, if God does not favor you, you may not be able to achieve anything. So God favored there, the God mercy, and with all those things added up to bring out the present Bola Oladipo, which we're seeing today.
All right, let's talk about your journey so far in your career. You are with the Ondo State Civil Service. How did it start off for you? What were the hurdles that you had to face? Especially having to cope as a mother, a housewife, and then working as well. And then still pursuing that dream that you had.
Yes, just like Riley said, it's not an easy task. I want to thank God for that, His favor. And the determination, you know, I will always refer to that. I joined the Ondo State Civil Service in year 2000. You know, before joining the Ondo State Civil Service, I was a banker. But due to home, it was my marriage that took me away from that job. Because, you know, banking, even till today, you know what it takes. And it was affecting the home. And I said, I just have to give it up. No time for the children.
Do you regret that?
No, I never. I never. And
because
it was,
you know, you hear some women that would say that no career, no marriage will make them, you know,
why I didn't regret,
give up on their
why I didn't regret it was that after when I left the job, I was not just idle. I decided to go into business.
Okay.
The little money I gathered, I was into trading, foodstuff and the like for neighbors and even supplying schools. So that was what I was doing when then the Ekiti State was created out of Ondo State, and that created opportunity for Ondo State to employ. And so we're part of the Farati administration that were employed in year 2000. I joined the Ondo State Civil Service through tax, Ondo State Board of Internal Revenue as a tax officer, through tax cadre. And if I have interest to tell you that from the beginning of my journey to today, I've never been a subordinate. What I mean by I've never been a subordinate is that I've always been a leader.
Okay.
During the time of our training, when you join the service, the government then will train you for like 3 months, 6 months. I was discovered. And there I became a unit head. I was the supervisor in charge of revenue for the state in that particular administration. So from there, I grew on that cadre. It was along the line. I felt that I should be able to add more value to the system, converting to accountant cadre, especially when I started writing ICANN. So I left the tax cadre to join the accountant cadre in year 2008. And from there, I'll be growing through promotion. And presently, I'm in director level. And combining the work as a mother, like you actually know, is not an easy task. But because of my personality and who I am, I believe so much in that work. In fact, if you mention my name, everybody will say, when you say Oladipo, you see work. Say, Madam Monisha, that's what people see me. They will
that's
tell
the
you,
nickname they give you.
Say work. You see, people will say, if I posted to work with her, you must be ready to work. Or yes, you will have problem. So they know that, yes, she's hardworking. And that doesn't debar me because I was able to balance everything. And
exactly, that's it.
The children
striking the balance.
Striking the balance.
All right. And now, if you also still look at, you've been in the private sector, and then you've also tasted the public service sector. What would you say is the difference? Because a lot of people will tell you that they'd rather be in the public service sector. What would you say is the difference for you?
There's a great difference. And that is why many people that know me personally, when they hear my story.
And do you think it's also impacting on how you have been working in the public service?
That is just the source of that nature. People that know me very well will continue to tell me, if you don't see me on the seat as a civil servant, you may not believe that she's a civil servant because of the way I do my things. And I always tell them, I started my career as a banker, and that training, you know, knowledge doesn't go away. It's also in me. You know, as a banker, banking work itself is work. Then private sector, another work. So the chosen career as an accountant is another work. So when you combine all this, is work. You don't have a lazy accountant, you don't have a lazy banker, and you don't have, you know, all these things combined together. So exactly that is that training and the tempo that I brought to the civil service. And comparing the two, how we say, they are parallel lines I can never meet. I don't see basis of honestly, I don't see ever meeting. You can see, because there's accountability, there is
in the private sector.
In the private sector, you have to account. Is, you see, there's the time is very, very key, because your boss will ask you. You see, the delay on your table will cost somebody's job. There is a team spirit.
Yeah.
There's motivation. A lot of things.
I can't quite relate to what you're saying, because I have been in the private sector too, and I've done a job where you have to account per hour.
Yes.
What you're doing.
You have to account for everything.
So there's no laxity, there's no time wasted.
Exactly.
And I'm hoping that our viewers, they're getting one or two things from you, because the fact that you're in the civil service doesn't mean that it's an opportunity to laze around
at all,
or an opportunity to be found doing your own thing rather than doing the job itself. All right, now let's talk more. We're still talking about it, more about congratulations on your remarkable achievement. What would you say inspired you? You've told us that it was your lecturer during your master's that saw something in you and said you had to do more. Now, one would wonder, you about how many years more do you have to go in the civil service? Perhaps you should be looking forward to retirement anytime soon, because you already said some 50-something years ago. So this is like, you don't want to be a burden to anyone after retirement.
Because I'm still very, very young and agile. So, you know, when, like when I work with one of the former head of service in the Ondo State, that is Baba Akinderamola. I worked with him when he was a commissioner for Ondo State. And if you know him very well, Baba is an epitome of hard work and accountability and commitment. He will say time is very key. And so at times we call us and ask us, the day you resign in for employment, that day you must start to plan for your retirement. When there was a day he called me and said, what is your plan for it? I said, I say I have about 20-something years in the service, so I asked him for it. He said, oh, you miss it all. He said, start planning now. I remember that day.
Start planning now.
So, and I said, yes, Daddy. Anytime we meet on the road, he will always ask me, hope you are already dotting the I's and crossing the T's in respect of your retirement. I said, Daddy, I'm still a very young lady. What do you mean? He said, oh, I trust you. I know you won't make that mistake. You see, many workers, I won't say civil servant, because even those in private sector, they make such that mistake too. They will believe time is on their side until when government now, or they receive a message that you have 6 months, 1 year to go before they will start. And that is why you see many people after retirement, they have issues. Financial issues, health issues, a lot of issues. They grow old quickly because they never have the plan that one day they will exit the system.
Okay, so now I would like to ask that, now that we have contributory pension, do you think that is plan enough for people to work with?
It's
I know
part
that
of it.
People like you, of course, you were not involved in the contributory, but for people who came into the service not too long ago, now they are into the contributory pension scheme. Do you think that is enough plan for retirement?
Let me just correct this before I answer that question. Okay. Contributing pension, yes, by the government policy, we are not part, but you can decide to make yourself, if you go to them and you want to do something for yourself, is allowed.
Oh, okay.
But you will be the one that will instruct the government to be deducting from your salary to their purse. Okay. It's not that the one, you know, the government own is mandatory, but on your own, you can do it for yourself. Okay. So and the awareness is going on.
All right.
But as per the plan, whether it's enough for anybody, I would say personally, looking at the economy, the present situation and everything, and projecting it into the future.
As the accountant that
as an accountant that I am, I would say it's not enough. But we said our breath is better than none. This is the motive of the contributory pension scheme is just for you to have something to leverage on, a starting point. Because we discovered that if you exit the system, many people, they will just exist without even a dime. They won't even know, they will be confused, no pension, there's no even gratuity on time, they don't even know, no savings, and they won't know. And you know, by the time they start to think about it, different health problems will creep in. But when you have that one as your basic things to first start. Oh, I have this one, let me first start from this. Even if other plannings are coming in into it, then at least something to take off. But it's not enough, because you don't even know how long you are going to live before you exit.
All right. Thank you very much. Moving on, what were the challenges that I know you mentioned financial challenge. Aside from finances, what other challenges did you face during your academic journey, especially having to combine all of that as a mother, as a housewife, and then, of course, as a student as well?
Yes, the challenges I would say basically it centers more on finance than any other thing, because the career issue and the I pursue with a home is not a thing that I just dabble into. It's a thing I know when I was growing up that this is what I want to become, and I've already set it. And another issue is time. At times, after getting home, putting the children to sleep, and no sleep at night, you have to wake up. If I've seen someone that is writing, I don't know if you have any experience about that, you know what it takes to be a chartered accountant. It's a great task. And I became qualified during the course of my career in the civil service, and ditto other professional bodies that I belong to. So you will know it's not an easy task, but you have to all these things, determination. You see, where there's determination, every barrier will give way. Where there's determination, no barrier, every barrier will give way. So that determination did not even allow me to see any barrier except
all right.
the issue of finance.
As the first female PhD holder in accounting in Ondo State, what message would you say you have for young girls out there, or people who just think all they want to do is just become somebody's wife? You'll be shocked if you hear some dreams that some persons would have. What would you say to young girls out there who aspire to follow your footsteps?
Thank you, and I just want to thank God. If I need to tell you this, I have an NGO where I encourage the widows and the orphans.
Oh, okay.
And that is a Mercy, Goodness and Joy Helping Hands Foundation that was established after the death of my mother. And my person, I live my life for humanity. I love to impart lives. And the process, I loved the young ones, to use my life to encourage them that no matter the challenge you think you have in life, when you are determined and you know God, because the place of God and prayer can be overemphasized, and you now determine, even if you don't have anything, you don't have people, you don't have money, you don't have whatever you think you don't have, God himself will bring them to your path when the time comes to help you achieve your dream. So I want to encourage the young ones that no matter what they are facing, no matter what society is turning to, they should be determined, because at the end of the day, those people that encourage me today, where are they? Most of them, they have gone. Who is reaping the benefit is myself. Whatever you think you want to become, please put determination into it, be hardworking, and be prayerful and know God. I don't believe in this present economy that somebody wants to be a housewife. And that is why I decided to pick up that NGO. We have widows who think once their husband have died, that is the end of their life.
No hope.
But no hope. The NGO is there to tell them, even at that, you can be something. And that's your dream. Even the children of the fatherless or the motherless or orphans, I do tell them, the death of your parent is not the end to your life or your destiny. It's you and God. God knows who is going to send to you. And I have two characters in the Bible that I use to counsel the youth, Joseph and Esther. Esther was an orphan. But that purpose of God for her life, through medical, he got to that palace as a queen. Joseph, the mother died earlier. The father was not even just only the color of coat. The brothers even hated him. He was thrown into prison. But all these things didn't debar Joseph. He held on to God and this dream and vision. And eventually, he got there.
Okay, and that's good that you're saying this to the young ones, because we have youths who today have this sense of entitlement. If my father had done what he was supposed to do, if my mother had done what, if my uncle who was abroad was, there to do what he was supposed to do, or if they had given me enough money. I'm glad that you're saying this, because the fact that there's no helping hand at that time, does not mean that it is an end to your own life or to the dreams that you have or goals that you have set for yourself. Determination, like you said, and resilience is a good a key point that we have to follow all through our lives. How would you say bagging this PhD now would impact your job presently? I know that you said, yes, you're looking forward to it in the future when you retire to go into the academic and all that, but presently now, do you think it will impact on your job?
Seriously, no, knowledge is a thing that you cannot just hide.
Okay.
And what you don't have, you can't give. And when you have something, you know, knowledge is a thing that is pushy. You just have to. I can't say because it is meant for future, and but I will limit my job to maybe the BSc or master that is recognized in the civil service. No, it's not possible. The certificates has really impacted my work. Presently, I am attached to Ministry of Information as the Director of Account, and even the way the process is, you know, accounting is a profession that it works with the economy, and every day there are innovations, there are changes there and there, and you have to keep on moving with the trends of time. And so ditto, even in the civil service, things are moving every day. You can't say the way they are doing it 10 years ago, even last year, it's not the same thing. Recently, the tax form reform was even passed, a lot of financial reforms going on, and we saw this knowledge even in the processes of financial processes of the government, which we use it to carry out our tasks for accountability, for transparency, and for integrity's sake.
Okay, I'd like to ask you, you've said a lot now, in terms of the reforms that have happened in the nation in this present administration, what are your thoughts?
The reforms are just...
You know, for the layman, we would say, what we see is hunger in the land. Things are prices are skyrocketing and all, but as a professional, what's your view?
You know, change is a good thing, but people resist change.
Yes.
And one thing about change is that it is not a thing that you see immediately. When a child is growing, you just discover one day that, oh, you are already tall. It's not a thing that you measure every day and say you have had this. And the same thing, all these reforms. Yes, you see, every stage have its own teaching problem. There's nothing good comes easy. So when everything have its own two sides of the coin, and so, but at the end of the day, it's the end that matters. So that time you were asking me the challenges I went to before. If I look at the challenges, I will not go far. I will have stopped. But the same thing, the government and the policy makers and our government today, they look at the end, what will benefit the citizens, and the end of it, they just have to close, like the president said when he was about removing subsidy, and when these reforms were coming in, even the governor talking to the citizens to get prepared, that there will be hard time. But you shouldn't look at the hard time, you should look, but at the end of the day, what will happen, all of us will smile. Life will be better. Just like we see in the Western world, everything will work fine. And so we are at the processing stage, we are at the work in progress stage. We don't need to look at the hunger and the hardship in the society, but very soon we'll get there.
Very soon we'll get there. I'm sure the Nigerians can't wait for the soon to be very much with us. It's been exciting talking with you. But before I let you go, looking into the future, the girl child, back to the girl child again, because this is a feat that you have achieved. Indeed, the very first female PhD holder in accounting in Ondo State. Talking about STEM, the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics field. How can we encourage more and more girls? I'm sure that when you were even going to school back then, that you had, you know, fewer girls in class. You know, usually you have more males than the females. What do you think we can do as a nation to encourage more girls to go into STEM?
Beautiful. Yesterday I was, watching the program of, in ICANN we call something SWAN. That is the Society of Women Accountants in Nigeria. That's the female arm of ICANN, okay, which I'm a member. Our national president was talking about this same question yesterday, and I joined the program. And you see, if I need, maybe you have not even looked at the statistics, as at today, women, they are taking charge. In ICANN, in my district, I happen to be a member of the committee of, we call something Catch Them Young, where you encourage the little ones to be great and not to give up. I'm part of the committee, and we discovered what is going on now is that the rate at which female, now then it used to be like 20 male, maybe 5 or 6 female, but now it's 20 female, maybe 5 or 6 male. And they have been asking the question, what is the problem? In fact, it's now even a research work for the researchers. Okay. What is the problem? Boys, they are no more interested. Maybe because, I want to say because when we are growing, you know, it got to a stage, people said, if you write off the girl child, let us encourage them. And that encouragement now shifted to the girl child. And now we have
so much attention on the girl child.
And now we have even overtaken. We have met them, overtaken, now we are ruling.
But we're hoping that they will come back on board, because we don't want to.
That is
because you're really sincere, because truly there's so much attention on the girl child, and while we're leaving out the boy child, but we want to involve every child. There's greatness in everyone.
Even recently,
like
if
you
I
said.
buttress the point, we did Accountant Forum Week, and which we have to give prizes to. We selected some universities and secondary schools across Ondo State. We gave prizes to the best student in accounting in all those institutions. You discover that all the universities visited, they are all girls that won the prizes.
Wow.
And that brought up a question, even within accountant in Ondo State, that what is happening to the boys?
That's good news for us girls there. All right, that would be a good place to leave it, because we have totally run out of time, but we do not want to leave the boy child behind as well. So much attention on the girl child, but please, let's balance it out. Thank you so very much. We have been listening to Mrs Jocelyn Omobola Oladipo, PhD, the very first female accountant in first female PhD holder in accounting in Ondo State. Thank you very much for being my guest this week.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, dear viewer. I'm sure that you learned a thing or two from her life. And let's do this again sometime next week. My name is Obi Chukwemeka, saying bye-bye for now.